Okay, so thank you all for joining in today. And this is our first session. And in this session, we are going to talk about what? Windows 365 business versus enterprise, right? We are very excited. I'm co-hosting this with Jitesh. And so my name is Anoop and I'm Microsoft MVP from 2015 onwards. And I got around 20 years of experience in IT. I would say 20 plus years, but I'm pretty young. I'm only like 25 or something like that. No, no. Okay. So you can see my Twitter handler over there. You can in the screen, and you can see the LinkedIn profile. If you like to follow, please follow us. And over to you, Jitesh. You can introduce yourself now.
Thanks, Sanoop. So my name is Jitesh, and I am having more than 5 years of experience in the IT industries. Basically, much more focused on managing Windows 10, 11 devices with this my device management tool, which is MEMCM, MDT, and the Intune. So you can find me in Twitter handle and as well as in the LinkedIn, and we all be available to address your queries related to any device management technology at htmdforum.com. So don't forget to bookmark that. So let's move forward for our agenda for this session. So here basically we will be talking about the Windows 65 Cloud PC and the different edition which we have. So Cloud PC is nothing but Windows in the cloud. So Windows 65 basically is the next generation of the personal computing with the world first cloud PC. So that is creating a new personal computing category. That is basically we are referring to the cloud PC, which is basically using the power from the cloud and helping us to deliver a personalized Windows PC experience directly from the cloud. And the device management from the cloud PC helping us to roam all your settings to cloud PC from physical PC. So this roaming basically includes all your desktop wallpaper favorites and all those browser history and the content which we are using and with the help of all those technologies. So the new Windows experience that is coming, that is that is a best way to facilitate hybrid work model where employee both are working on site and from the global can easily able to manage and the deployment. So in terms of deployment, it is quite simple, deployable and managed from the single console. So anyone can easily go and just do the deployment, and it is also secured by the design. So leaving no data in the device. So in terms of reliability, it is best to use. So the next moving to the yeah. So here basically I will be talking little bit about the different uh, edition of Windows 65 which we have. So Microsoft is currently offering the two different edition of Windows 65, which is Enterprise and the Business Edition. So here I want to highlight only the few differences. I will not going to cover up all those points in a details. So basically the Windows 65 Business is especially for made for the smaller companies who want ready to use cloud PC directly from the simple management option. And where it comes to the enterprise, it is basically for the larger company that is having much more capabilities option from the MEM. And in terms of supporting the enterprise support hybrid Azure directory join and coming soon will also support needed Azure Active Directory join. And the business edition is currently only relying on the Azure Active join only. So the enterprise offering is much more ideal for the companies who is much more relying on the Active Directory and may have on-premises network connection. And in terms of the business, it is not natively supporting connection to the on-premises resources. So for the gallery image, you can see for the enterprises, we can use the custom image that is well supported for this edition, as well as we are having the different gallery image provided by the Microsoft itself that we can use and deploy. Where in terms of the Windows 65 business, we are having only limited to use the gallery images. So, and in the enterprises, it is offering analytics report, and the business has no like support of the reporting feature. So let's move forward to the next. So this is the high level of the Windows 65 provisioning process. So I am not going to cover up all those in the detail. So you can easily refer the high level point for this Windows 65 Enterprise Cloud PC and the Windows 65 Business Cloud PC. So we will have coming up demo. We will see all using in the real time scenario. So Win Windows 65 Enterprise is basically 5 to 6 step process to provision a device. Where it comes to Business Edition, it is quite simple, and we can follow the 3 steps process to creating a Windows 65 Business Cloud PC. So that is extremely simple. First, we need to buy license. So there is a no prerequisite required for. And after that, once we assign that license for the business user, you can directly reach out to the devices and enjoy the experience of the cloud PC. So next I am handing over to Anoop. So he will be taking care from here and will provide you more insights. Over to you.
Okay, that's great stuff, Jitesh. So you covered the basics of cloud PC and what are the differences between the cloud PC offerings from Microsoft, right? So there are two types of two editions of cloud PC, Windows 365, and those are already explained by Jitesh. So let me go into some of the technical details over here in this slide. I'm not going to cover the entire stuff, but we will be concentrating more on the demos, right? That I think that is what you all need, right? From a technical or IT pro perspective, we all love demos rather than all these boring slides. So boring slides is only for me probably. I don't know. But let's go to the go through the list over here. So Windows Business version is only Azure AD join at the moment. There is no on-prem connectivity, etc., at the moment, right? So that is one thing, and custom image and everything. I think already covered by Jitesh in the previous slide. So we will quickly move to the next slide. This is where we need to kind of have a meeting or check with if you are an IT pro and if you want to implement Windows 365 editions, then this is the place you will take that decision. You will have a meeting with your client and then you will decide which is the perfect version or edition or perfect SKU for your client or end user, right? So Microsoft did a excellent job giving example scenarios over here and recommended apps. If you are using, if this is a frontline worker, then what does the SKU they want to use, right? Or you want to use for that particular type of the user profile. So if it's a frontline user and if they are using all the web application, they are not using any desktop apps like Teams, etc., then Microsoft recommends that one vCPU is enough with 2 gigabytes of RAM, etc. Right? So in a cloud world, right, it is always start from the base and go up, right? It is not very easy to go down, right? For example, if you start with 8 GB of 8 vCPU and 32 GB of RAM, and then if you want to kind of reduce the skew, that is not the ideal for the cloud world. So always start with the basics and then increase the capacity, or like select the better SKUs as per your requirements, right? So that is one thing I wanted to highlight in this slide. And this is the business sizing slide, right? So business edition, for the business edition. So this is also similar in frontline. For the frontline workers, Microsoft is recommending that if they are not using the desktop applications, etc., like Teams and all, right? So if you are using trying to use it for a software developer or a content creator, like if you want to do a video editing, etc., right, then you need to, it is recommended to use the highest SKU, that is 8 vCPUs, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of storage, etc., right? So you need to be very careful when you select the SKU, and for different SKUs, the pricing is also different, right? So you need to be very careful about that. So let's dive into the fun part, the real technical stuff, right? In this, so as you can see, this is the enterprise version, and this is the business version screenshot. Okay, if you go to Azure Active Directory and check for the enterprise version, at the moment you can see all the enterprise version provisioned cloud PCs are hybrid Azure AD join, because Azure AD join native or full Azure AD join is not supported yet. They are going to support it. Microsoft has already mentioned this in the Ignite, announced this in the Ignite, I think, and the Azure AD support is coming to enterprise version very soon. Okay, the second one is business version. So business version is always Azure AD join, okay, because there is no on-prem connectivity, etc. That is not officially supported, but we are going to show something we have tested in our labs, right? Jitesh and myself, right? That is why you can see, oh, okay, that cloud PC business version is Intune Enroll, even though that is not supported as per Microsoft documentation. So we are not recommending to use it. We don't recommend to use this. If you want to test it in your lab environment, you can do it, but always ask for Microsoft if you need any clarification, like whether you can purchase a business edition of Cloud PC and join it to the domain or not, right? So I think I think this is the old slide I'm sharing. So let's just quickly go through it and kind of jump into the demo directly, right? So we are going to show in the demo what are the differences between the cloud PC, a business version management, and the enterprise version management. So as per Microsoft, for the business version, there is not much capabilities. Jitesh already mentioned that, right? So as you can see over here, you cannot use a device model properties in Azure AD for the business version, because it shows us virtual machine rather than the cloud PC. So for the enterprise version, the device model shows us the cloud PC, so that we can easily group the enterprise version cloud PCs into a dynamic group, Azure AD group, and that is easy to manage. Then we can deploy all the applications and policies, etc., right? So let's move on. And this is the filtering rules, right? So filtering rules where for same thing for the business edition, it is difficult to use filtering rules based on the model, etc. Because I don't think business version supports that officially, right? And the second option, second is enterprise version. In enterprise version, yes, we can have filtering rules or filter rules for enterprise version of Cloud PC. We'll see this in demo, right? So I'm going to quickly go through the slides over here. And this is the Cloud PC um, uh, business version, a kind of enrollment which is not supported. This is in codes. So we tested this in lab. So I don't think you should try this in your production environment if Microsoft, because Microsoft documentation says this is not supported, right? So you need to get clarification if you are using business version, whether if you have a proper license like this. We tested this with enterprise mobility plus E3, E5 license, right? So our user who was using the business version was assigned to this particular license, and in that scenario, the cloud PC business version got automatically enrolled into Intune. We didn't do anything. We didn't manually install company portal into the Cloud PC Business Edition, right? Because of this setting, probably it is automatically appeared in Intune. Okay, that is cool from as an MDM admin or MEM admin, right? But please check the supportability of it and support statement from Microsoft before you do that. So I would recommend for testing, it's fine, but for the confirmation, please use Microsoft channels for that. Okay, so I think over to you, Jitesh. Okay, so I think now we are going to show the demo part of it, right? So in the demo, we are going to show business edition provisioning thing, right? So how the end user business edition provisioning, end user provisioning kind of scenario, right? So over here we have a video created for this. And before this step, what we need to do is basically assign, just as an admin, IT admin, we just need to assign a license, Windows 365 business license, to this particular user. So Jitesh, we have Jitesh assigned himself a business edition license into his ID, added that into his ID. Now he's going to log into this particular portal, and he's going to take over and explain what is the process over here. So over to you, Jitesh.
Yeah, so it's so here you can see it is like the end user experience for the Cloud PC Business Edition, which we have. So let's try out. So first, as Anoop mentioned, like we had assigned the license to a user, and user is you need to use the Cloud PC URL, which is windows 365.microsoft.com, to launch Windows 65 services and start working on Windows 10 and 11 personalized desktop in the cloud. So when you will launch the following URL, you will ask to log in, where you need to put your corporate ID to proceed it ahead. So here we had already logged into the system. So once you in, so here we had captured all those provisioning process what we had experienced. So here you can see it has started, and on the right hand side you can see that it is denoting your cloud PC and the name as well as the edition which we have, and the CPU, RAM and the storage what we had purchased. So this is the experience end user will get once the provisioning process will get completed. So you will get the first screen, welcome to Windows 65 and your name. Then moving to the next. you will get the screen what is Cloud PC. So it is simple as we had discussed.
Yeah, you just need to click on next, 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 right?
Yeah.
As an
It
end
is it
user.
is quite simple process. Only user need to click next, 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 and the provisioning process will get completed, and user will have a good experience of using Cloud PC. So this is the screen user will basically encounter with that, and what he can do. So it is most secure place to store and access your apps, file, everything, what and the internet connected devices. So this is the screen at the last user will get once your Cloud PC will ready.
Yeah, this is basically educating the user, right? So we the cloud Microsoft is telling, okay, what is cloud PC and what we can do as an end user, etc. Right? So this is very useful.
Yeah.
So user will be very comfortable with this, right? Using the cloud PC. Okay.
Yeah, so this is basically providing insights about the cloud PC experience to the end user, how basically they will start. So once your cloud PC will get ready, you need to click on the get started. And once user will click on the get started button, you can see here different sets of cloud PC what assigned to the user. So here in our scenario, you can see only one cloud PC is ready to use, and the inside the cloud PC, you will able to see the CPU, RAM, and the storage what we had used. So now our cloud PC is ready to use, and it has all the setups and all those things what we needed. So to launch the cloud PC, basically we need to open in a browser option. So once we will click, that will navigate to the end user where they need to put their password, and straightforward they will able to use the experience of this cloud PC. So that's all about the business edition of the cloud PC role. And this, so over to you, Anup.
Okay, great. So I'm going to show this in the demo, but not this part basically. But what this shows is when you enroll as a Windows 365 Cloud PC Business Edition, it is always you are always an administrator on the mission, right? On the Cloud PC. If you are using an enterprise version, then end user won't get the administrative rights by default, right? If I understand correctly, and you need to provision a particular policy to make end user as administrator for that particular cloud PC. So it is more control, more management options for the enterprise version. That is the theme for this presentation, right? So if you are using enterprise version, you need to have you will have a lot of management capabilities, reporting capabilities, etc., etc. But if you are using the enterprise version, sorry, business version, it is pretty simple, straightforward, basic management options, etc. Right? So let's share my demo screen, and we will continue from there, right? So give me a sec, quick sec. Okay, and let's